but yeah, you met some great people down there, and you guys joined forces together to start a clothing brand. Tell me about that.
True, I'll tell you that you got it on right now. Shit, you tell me about it. What's it hitting for? Is it comfy? How's it feeling?
I like it because it's a heavier like t-shirt material, isn't thin, so you know that it's gonna last a long time.
Yeah,
Also with like the screen print and the stuff like that, it's a little bit thicker here,
yeah,
like in the writing, so that makes it feel a little bit more sturdy as well.
yeah,
Um, and I like the designs. I like the message first of all, not a pipe dream, you know. But then I
yeah,
like I like the little uniquenesses that you guys come up with. I feel like a lot of the clothing brands and a lot of people in general just kind of cop other people's ideas and like try to make it their own and type stuff. But
yeah,
I can say that like the fonts that you guys use, the designs that you have, like they make so my theory on design is like change it just a little bit so it still makes sense to people. And I think that you guys do that really well, meaning like you guys have obviously like sweatsuits and t-shirts and things like that, but you tweak it just enough to make it your own to where it still makes sense to people.
yeah,
And you know what I mean?
yeah. I like the first thing that we wanted to like make sure. I mean, as far as the actual garment goes, not brand story or anything like that, but like as a brand or a clothing brand, I want to be able to know that regardless of the design, like put design out the window, just the material itself, like uh is good material. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I correlate and me and you are very similar with food. Uh we're the least picky people you'll ever meet, will eat anything, but very picky about quality.
Yeah.
Like
We're going to call
eh,
it out. We're going to eat it, but we're going to call it out if it's we know
yeah,
what it is. Yeah.
and and price for quality. If
Yeah.
it's a $4 burger, charge me $4. If you charge me 12, I'm gonna say this is the worst burger I've ever had because
Yeah.
for the value, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So
Value.
like,
Mhm.
but I correlate it to cooking. Like, if I go to a restaurant and they have good ingredients,
Mhm.
but it wasn't made well, I'll go back to that restaurant because the ingredients are good.
Mhm.
Maybe I got the wrong thing. Maybe it wasn't prepared well. Whatever. If I buy something off of a website, a clothing website, and the material sucks, I'm
Mm.
never buying from that again.
Yeah.
Like, so that was the first thing like that we decided was like, look, the materials have got to be A1
Mhm.
because that's at the end of the day, that's what you have to stand on. Like, I mean, you could feel it. Like when you feel those t-shirts, the GSM is like, it's
Mhm.
good, it's heavy cotton. But yeah, bro,
Yeah, yeah,
it's been
I think one thing is very clear is like there's people that make stuff that's pretty expensive. Like I've bought some pretty expensive T-shirts and stuff like that,
yeah,
and like you get them and they're like super thin or they're they're just not they're Hanes 100% like cotton T-shirts or
Gildan.
whatever, like Gildan, whatever, like those cheap shirts, and like that's fast fashion. You guys are not fast fashion. You
No,
guys
it's
are
all cut and sew.
meticulous. You
Yeah.
guys care. You're not just trying to sell a bunch of stuff in quantity. It's quality over quantity, and whatever you guys buy, you know it's gonna last and it's gonna look cool too.
Our main a couple of our main like points of emphasis are um as far as like the fashion thing goes, it's like I don't want to be called a streetwear brand.
Hmm.
It's going to be much more than that. Like I could see us getting into runway at some point, doing extravagant pieces that are like, runways type stuff. Getting into more, the first line that we did is more sweats like this, sweatpants, sweat shorts, t-shirts. We did more like a streetwear, like low key for the first take, just to be
Hmm.
safe and just get it out there.
Of course.
Um, but we're looking to ramp it up and uh having being the place where like high fashion, like designer fashion, high fashion meets streetwear. Like we want to be that intersection, like right where
Hmm.
they intersect. We want to live in that area. So like, that was a major thing for us, because the more time goes on, it seems
Hmm.
the more like these rules of fashion, like if you're out, they keep the bar keeps getting lower and lower of what you can wear out to the bar.
Hmm.
Like, and then, but more importantly, that was just one thing about material. But more importantly, what we want to do is like the give back, bro. Like it literally, it sounds cliche, but that's all it is about. Like
Hmm.
it's we come from a town where if I told you in high school, or if I told everybody around us in high school, or the town we came from, or the town AJ came from, or the town Bella came from, or that, oh yeah, I'm gonna start a clothing brand, it'd be like, like whoa, it's Johnny freaking clothing over here, like,
Yeah.
and it would be, a joke. And I feel like, um, especially with inner city in particular, uh, it's I don't want to say, yeah, I mean, I guess it is frowned upon. Like if you go to an inner city school, I didn't go to an inner city school, but I worked in the city a lot. I was in and around inner city, and I have friends that go to inner city. And I know that when you're in the inner city, you either hoop, you play football, you play sports, whatever sport, you got
Yeah.
to go to the league,
Yeah.
or you rap, or you sell drugs. That's like what it is.
Uh-huh.
And Uh, so one of our main goals is to try to infiltrate the cities and partner with centers and give back initiatives to like eventually the end goal is to create like centers around the I will say country for now, but hopefully around the world. It would be a great thing to be able to spread around the world, but to put a building in place, like we'll call it a dream center, for instance, where you go to the dream center as a 10-year-old kid that goes to Detroit public schools, and you go there and there's people that are empathetic people that can see like this kid is broken but he's gifted, and like give them the opportunity to explore art,
Yeah.
like music, a
Not
recording studio.
without like judgment, like bad,
Yeah,
like
and
you're an idiot type
you
stuff.
want to start a clothing brand, go tell that in your school, you're going to get laughed at. But if
Hmm.
you go tell that at the dream center, they're going to go, okay, well, you know what you need to do to start a clothing brand? You need to get proficient in Procreate. You need to get an app. You get an iPad. If you get an iPad, you can start a successful clothing brand.
Hmm.
Get an iPad, get Procreate, start drawing, like,
And
or
we'll show
recording,
you how
or
to do it, or like give you the tools and the and guidance,
yes,
and just explore it, even if it doesn't go that deep. The fact that you're just putting energy into something that will make you better and
boom.
improve on something, like you can take that lesson anywhere.
How many people like could have been, maybe, like, I'll just put it, for instance, this is like a sports correlation that it makes sense but kind of not. But like for me, like I never really played soccer.
Hmm.
Like I might have been an
Goal
amazing soccer player.
goalkeeper,
Like
yeah,
I might, like, literally, bro, I might have been the best goalie ever, but like
yeah,
since I never had like that, like we're coming, soccer's growing. When we were in school, it was like you get made fun of if you're playing soccer.
yeah,
So like imagine trying to start a clothing brand,
yeah.
like, or whatever. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna be a composer. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. We got Johnny Composer over here.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I think that's the one thing that's been really cool about you and me and the people that, like I said, our friend group, is that we're not scared to do what other people think are weird. And we just do, like, we're so confident in ourselves that we're just like, I think this is cool, so this is cool and you're wrong type of deal. So,
Speaking of creativity, bro, I watched the podcast of you and Nate, and I remember you saying some. I think you might have been hammered or something, but you
for
said
sure. Yeah.
that Nate was the best rapper you know. And I got so many 16s for Nate. It would be like it's insane. I got clips. I got the banana clip that I
You're
got like
fully aware of Nate. You're
I
fully
got
aware of Nate.
I got the holster joint, like the double holster, just big old clips, rounds. No, that's my guy. Actually, y'all can go hit Google and or YouTube and go Google some of our old stuff. Me and Nate are on a couple
Yeah.
tracks together.
Yeah, 1,000%. But yeah,
True.
yeah, just being comfortable with doing things that other people think are weird. We had that innate in us, and it pushed us
Oh, bro.
to do these things. And if we can teach those lessons to more people, that's what I'm hoping. You know, we're having me and Rachel are having our first child here soon, and that's one of the things that I mentioned to Rachel is like one of the things I want is them to be proud of being an individual. And that kind of that's where it comes from. It's just like, hey, I know I do things that people think are weird, like this podcast probably,
Sure.
or like making clothes or designs or music videos or whatever it may be. No one was doing that when I was doing it. Like that was completely
Right.
weird and out of this world where we came from. And so I always did that.
Yes.
And I always thought that was sweet and fun and awesome, and I didn't really care what other people thought. And I think,
But bro, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah.
this is the thing though. It would take a very, 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 very special individual to get into the mindset that you're in with I just like doing this and I don't care what other people think
Hmm.
without other people with like minds around you to help you be comfortable in that. Like
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have done it if it was just you alone. We were always making music together. We were always creating together. Like you had other people to like reassure you that
Hmm.
um so again, it just comes back to
Yeah. And
trying to get good people.
my heroes, like whenever before podcasts, I would always like YouTube interviews of people, and they would be
Right.
like late night interviews, like the Breakfast Club interviews or wherever it may be, like just random interviews of people that I liked, and so those people like growing up, you know, was like Drake, Usher, Pharrell, Childish Gambino, like super
Just
creative
all
people.
black guys. Ah, shit.
And like just super creative people. And if I was like interested in their like art and like so like Pharrell obviously is like super creative and like uh
Yes.
Childish
Unbelievably
Gambino and
creative. Yeah.
Donald Glover is super creative and not just one field and not just one area. They just kind of did what they liked and they are awesome at pretty much all of it. So like I
Right.
looked up to those people, and so when I was in my own space of a place that wasn't that, like I was just like, these people are sweet, and people around the world think they're sweet. So if I like some, I'm the type of person. If I like something, I think that I can do it, and I think
Right.
that so like if I like music so much, super passionate about it, hey, I'm gonna write a verse. Like this is sweet. I want to partake in it. If I really enjoy something, I want to partake in it.
Yeah, bro. That's you take that for granted. How easy that is for you, I
Hmm.
think. And I think a lot of the reason why you might do that is just because you have such a good friend group and family around you, which
Hmm.
makes it way easier.
Yeah.
That's not common, like, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, we need to, that's the whole goal of like, what we want to do of like giving back is like literally getting you a spot that you can go to as a safe haven of
Hmm.
like your creativity can just do whatever it needs to do
And
with no
support.
judgment,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah. Safe
that's like
place.
that's how like, bro, I grew up. I mean, you know who I grew up, bro. Like for back to school shopping, I
Mm.
might get one pair of shoes and then we're going to the Goodwill and my dad's going to give me $50 bill and say, make it stretch.
Mhm.
So like that's my back to school shopping. So
Yeah.
like so now for me to own a brand and now I'm charging like $100 something for a hoodie, I'm like, damn, like why is this hoodie worth it? Well, it's
Mhm.
because of all of the everything encapsulated of like there's goals and dreams tied to this shit.
Mm.
Like we're trying to start the help center. We want to start a dream center. Like we're paying for the best materials. We're trying to get to the end goal.
Mhm.
So like that's how I justify
Yeah,
it,
you're not just trying to make a buck. Like you
Ah,
understand like how
what, bro?
hard
If
it
I was
is.
doing this for money, bro, I would not be. I would be back in Michigan doing asphalt.
Yeah.
Like we're not. This isn't for bread. Like this is
Yeah,
not a
that's what I'm
bread play.
you understand the transaction of what it should be. You pay a certain amount of money for something, you're going to get a certain amount of quality for it.
Yeah,
And it's not just something that's going to freaking be done with after 6 months and you're going to throw it away. It's going to be something that's in your closet in there for a while. It's going to last physically and style wise, and I think that's what's really really cool. Yeah, it's expensive from where we come from, but like I've spent money on stuff that's way
Oh,
too
dude,
much
and then
money and it
I,
sucks.
Right. Another thing to think about that we thought about too is like, who are we going after? Like, I necessarily don't want to sell something that everyone can afford, and that's okay.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sell $40 hoodies. Like, I don't want to do that, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I just to tell you a little bit. I don't think I really described to you like this logo.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw it at
So
me.
the logo, I don't know if y'all can see. I don't know how clear that is or not, but
Yeah.
it's
It basically it
a
looks like a
sword. It's a
yeah. It looks
sword.
like a dagger with a cross through it, kind of.
So it's a sword,
Hmm.
and when we were thinking of, logo is massively important. And when I think about a designer bag,
Hmm.
if I go buy a Chanel bag for whatever, whoever, doesn't matter for you.
Yeah.
Um, if I go buy a Chanel bag, the reason why I buy a Chanel bag is because that bag can literally appreciate. And if it doesn't appreciate over time, the quality level of it, at least it lasts for over time. So it's meant to be passed down.
Hmm.
So if I buy my girl a Chanel bag and then if you buy Rachel a Chanel bag,
Hmm.
that bag eventually is going to go to your daughter.
Hmm.
And not only will it go to your daughter, it might triple in value by the time she gets it. Or if it doesn't, Chanel bags are going to, if you buy a Chanel bag for 8K, 15 years later, if it was taken care of, it's going to be relatively close to that price point still, if
Hmm.
not higher.
Yeah.
So, that being said, back in the day, what used to get passed down from generation to generation? A
Sword.
sword.
Yeah.
So that was the derivative of our logo,
Hmm.
was what is something that like we like, that's like a cool symbol
Hmm.
that represents what we want this to be. And it's like it's bigger than just clothes. It's just like the legacy and like the meaning of everything I just told you about, the give back initiative, the all that, it all is encompassed by this. And it's just like all of this is literally for freedom.
Hmm.
Like not for me, not for anyone in particular, just like freedom in general. Like eventually it'll be freedom. Ideally, this logo will represent freedom for like a lot of people if we get in tapped into the dream centers and opening up give back initiatives and all that. So like it's just that's I feel like that's why I'm like love the logo. I love the meaning behind it and everything.
Hmm. Like you guys don't want to be. You want to not put people in boxes as far as their capabilities and what they can do. But on top of that, like it's the same thing with your designs. You're not in the box of I'm just streetwear. I want to do everything. So at the end of the day, it's mostly like not being in a box of anything and just being as creative as you kind of can be. And
Bro, yes, bro. Like, and like when I moved out here, AJ's introduced me to some really talented, amazing people. But one of the people he introduced me to that had a pleasure to hang out with a few times, who you actually met and hung out with in Cali, is Breland.
mhm,
If y'all don't know Breland, y'all better hit Google right now. Pause this and go hit Google right now. Um,
mhm,
but bro, like he's so talented. He's blooming and blossoming at a rapid rate in the country music scene, but he has roots in the church. He's written R&B, he can rap, he can do it all. So he just came out with an album. He called it Cross Country because
mhm,
it's like rooted in the church and doing crazy runs, and it's not classic country, but he has a little twang on it. And it's like his whole thing is like, don't do this to me. Like you're not putting me here. Like
mhm.
I'm I'm bigger than that. Like I'm way outside of this. Like, like there's never like it doesn't have to be this. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, when you
I
said
think.
Pharrell, I was like, yeah, bro, Pharrell's a perfect example. Like when he started wearing those hats, everybody was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then like 2 or 3 years later, everyone's wearing.
Yeah, yeah. I makes me think of that Kendrick line. I'm gonna break out and hide every lock. I'm gonna break out and hide every lock.
Yep.
and
Facts. Yeah.
that's kind of what you guys are. What your goal is ultimately is to
Right.
break through the boxes of social things and clothing and hide every lock and not just keep it for yourselves, but pass it on to everybody else. That's
Just
dope.
busting out of the chains, bro. Like no
Mm-hmm.
chains. Like we're not chained to anything. Like we don't have to.
Mm-hmm. And I'm super excited for you guys because you guys got a little bit of a road trip coming up. You're going to be down in Phoenix for Super Bowl weekend. You're going to go to Vegas for a convention, and you're also going to a tennis event
Yep.
in Cali.
Yeah, that Super Bowl weekend's going to be crazy because the Waste Management Open is the same weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the most rowdy golf tournament in the world. So
Yeah.
like people literally go there to get hammered. So
And it's
yeah, it's
viral.
gonna be
It's a
cool.
viral tournament. It's like one of those tournaments that it's probably the biggest, like as far as social media and stuff, the biggest tournament outside of the majors. I feel like because it's like
And
not.
even like the it still goes more viral than the majors.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Unless
just
Tiger's
beer
there,
cans, right? It
going
just
going
goes
ham.
beer cans on the green. Like there's just people. It's just funny. It's like the opposite of golf. But yeah, bro,
Which is
I'm
great for
excited to
you
get
guys
out
to
there.
be there because like that tournament is like breaking out of the box of just like right, and it's good for you guys to show face there and stuff because obviously.
Bro, you know what we need to absolutely. You know what we need to bring to golf is the shit we used to do in basketball to make people mad. You make a putt.
How much more fun? How much more fun would like golf be if like someone was literally talking crap? I'm sure they do,
Like
but
audibly though, like
like
when you
yeah,
could
like
hear it.
like under their breath or something like that, or just like more than just like proper.
Yeah, like you've watched some of like the match, right? Like if it's like
Yeah.
Tiger and or whatever, like
Oh my
that's
gosh.
dope when they're mic'd and you can hear them talking. But dude, it would be like golf would be so much more tuned into like around the at least the US if like me and you are golfing, we're both pros and you tee off and you just hook it right. And like as soon as you hit it, I'm just like
Yeah.
oh man, gonna be one of those days for you, huh? Like, just killing you. Oh, in and one, out in two, laying three, mad.
You will not make this putt.
Yeah.
So you guys got a lot of things moving and continue to market the brand and have these opportunities that are super super exciting. And you have a lot of cool people on social media wearing the stuff. I follow your Instagram. What's the Instagram handle?
Yeah, true. Plug us up. It's official NAPD, not a pipe dream. Official NAPD. Follow us up on there, no doubt.
And you can buy the clothes straight from Instagram, but also you
True.
have a website, right?
Yeah, website in the bio. The website is napdofficial.com. But yeah, bro, tap in, see what's up. If you end up following off this podcast, DM the account and said you followed off this podcast. I'll slide y'all a code through DM.
Oh yeah.